Okay, we will now continue. We will now go to our Community and Economic Development Committee, and the chair is Pinky Vargas. No. I'm sorry. Michael, Man Mountain Mike over there, I'm sorry. Michael Lillquist is the chair.
Thank you, Gene. Joining me on the Community and Economic Development Committee is Councilmembers Vargas and Murphy. We have one item before us today. It is a resolution which would amend the 2014 HUD Action Plan for allocating the federal funds from HUD, which is used for low and moderate income citizens for Bellingham. And anytime the use of the money changes significantly, we have to amend the plan. I believe there are 3 particular changes that are being proposed. Mr. Stahlheim, would you like to tell us about those changes?
Sure. Thank you. David Stahlheim, City of Bellingham Block Grant Manager. You teed it up perfectly there. So the action plan that's required by the federal government, HUD, requires us to come back to the council whenever there's a substantial amendment to the plan. And so we have 3 different items that are what I would consider substantial amendments, although they are pretty minor. But in HUD's perspective, they are substantial enough where we're adding some activities and moving some funds around that we thought it would be best to come back and go through the process. In 3 months, we'll actually bring you the 2015 action plan, so just a precursor of that, so we're wrapping up. The council there's 2 things. The council did act on the action plan last May, was when it was approved. And then one of the items that we have in here included additional funding for the homeless outreach team, the rental vouchers. The council approved amendment of the housing levy back in November to allocate that. We are asking for you to pass a resolution, and if you go to page 5 of your packet, the executive summary kind of gives a good overview. It's at least page 5 in my packet of this section. It's the executive summary.
I think page 26 of the packet.
Okay, so 26. So this identifies the different projects, and so first off, the new project funding is for youth housing. We are proposing to allocate $7,527 of federal funds to help Northwest Youth Services and the Opportunity Council to do a feasibility study on a project for their vacant land adjacent to their existing property there. They have come in with a development application for 2015 housing levy funds that we're evaluating, but we really, there's a lot of work to do to kind of put a project together like this, and we'd like to help fund some of that pre-development planning effort, and the federal funding allows us to do this in this manner. The second item is the tenant-based rental voucher program that we have. We would allocate almost $85,000 to this, and this is the homeless outreach team proposal that you did back in November, so this is a housekeeping to catch up with that in the federal funding side of it. The next 2 items are with respect to Culshan Community Land Trust. When we adopted the action plan back in May, we had set aside funds for Culshan to do a project, but we didn't know where that project was going to be. We had a sense that it was going to be on Mackenzie Street, but we didn't have any things nailed down at that time. And now we do know that it is on Mackenzie Street. It's a project called Mackenzie Green Commons. And it's gone from 8 units of housing down to 5 units of affordable housing. And the funding that's being requested or recommended in here is $175,000 total, or $35,000 per home. We would also reserve another $35,000 for another scattered site location throughout the city for that. So a total reduction in that line item of $35,000. Another project that they're doing out in the Birchwood neighborhood, in the vicinity of on Lafayette, Indiana and Lafayette, they're building 3 homes. They're under construction. They're almost, I think, finished right now. We had only allocated $77,527 to this, and we're increasing that up to $105,000, or again $35,000 per house. The same number of units would be produced as a result of that, 3 units. Community Development Advisory Board did have a public hearing. At the very bottom of that page, I have a little edit there. It says that the hearing was held on December 8th. It should be January 8th. So we gave notice of the hearing on December 8th, and we did not hear it on the same day. So, so that should be January 8th. Other than that, all the other items are all the changes to the action plan, the tables, things that I have to submit to HUD for their final review and approval. So if there's any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
Committee members? Roxanne?
I would just like to proudly move approval of the resolution approving the 2014 HUD Action Plan amendments.
Great. We have a motion to recommend approving the resolution. Any further discussion? Nikki?
I just had a comment. I just want to say that it's nice when you bring these things forward, because we do have a lot of challenges in regards to housing. And this addresses 3 different places that the city is doing something about, with the vouchers, with actually building housing. And so I think this is really positive, and thank you very much for your work on these subjects.
You'll be glad to see the 2015 plan that we'll bring to you in 3 months too. So it's looking good.
Gene?
Yeah, that's my question on page 27 where it says expected amount available remainder of comp plan 1.5. Is that the end of the comp plan before we were in 2016?
Yeah, this is comp plan, consolidated plan. This is the HUD consolidated plan.
Okay,
So,
that's what I mixed
yeah.
up on. Okay, thanks.
Any further discussion on this? Could we have a motion to recommend approval of this resolution amending the HUD plan? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We'll bring that forth as a unanimous recommendation tonight. Thanks very much, David. Oh, Kelly.
Yeah, and David is kind of a shy, humble guy, and he doesn't usually get compliments in public, but I just want to tell you how nice it is to have somebody who understands our goals that we have for housing and the home fund, and is willing, as one of the real active people in administering this, is willing to look at our goals and be flexible and actually meet the needs of the citizens. So I just wanted to thank David publicly for doing that. It's been a pleasure to work with him.
That's true. And actually, I guess I want to comment on the youth housing. That really has been a gap in some of the shelter services in our community, and even Skagit. Particular housing for that age is in short supply. So that's an excellent project. I believe that's the end of the committee. Gene, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Michael. We'll take a brief recess until we go to the next committee.